Right now on News 3, who would break into a local humane society? That's what police want to know, and why. And batter up, swinging for the fences one last time after more than a half-century on the diamond.
This is News 3 at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Janesville police are looking for your help in finding a man who broke into the Humane Society of Southern Wisconsin. They say it follows a number of other car and business burglaries in the city. Our Madeline O'Neill is back from Rock County with more. Maddie?
Charlotte, many in the community are still angry tonight after the Humane Society burglary early this morning, but the community is stepping up to help.
Every day you get to show up and really make a difference.
Before the day could get started here at the Humane Society of Southern Wisconsin.
It's always an unsettling feeling when you walk in someplace and it's different than it should be.
Its residents saw a crime that put their normal routine on pause.
We had people waiting in the parking lot who should have been feeding cats and dogs, cleaning kennels and cages.
Instead, a staff member came in at about 7:30 Thursday morning to find broken glass.
It was a pretty big mess, a real smash and grab.
Hours before, this security footage shows a man breaking the front glass door to enter the building.
We're looking for a white male riding a bike, and he's wearing a hooded sweatshirt.
Janesville police say the man took cash drawers, all of which were empty.
He's not a good burglar.
But an iPhone is missing, and the suspect did leave behind damage.
We run on donations. This is the kind of thing you don't budget for, you don't plan for.
It's something that I think that we will never understand. How can you comprehend somebody breaking into a non-for-profit that helps animals, of all things? You know?
Donations are coming in from community members like Barbara Smith, and an area company is offering to replace the glass door for free.
I'm sure that we won't be the last one in here, and I'm sure that we weren't the first that's bringing in things today to kind of help uplift and so that we can be in a better place than we started even before this.
As for the main witnesses of the crime, despite perhaps a scare from the intruder, they're doing just fine.
He was here for money and only money. And so the cats probably were concerned that he hadn't fed or scratched their ears. They like that first thing in the morning. But other than that, everyone was happy and healthy.
Janesville police say they're looking into a similar incident that happened this morning at Rockport Pool around the same time, along with a number of other recent thefts from businesses and cars. If you recognize the suspect from the security footage, give the Janesville police a call.
Madeline, thank you. And we will have more information on helping out the Humane Society on our website as well. Friends and family are asking for help tonight after a Madison man disappears in Europe. 25-year-old Jonathan Luskin has been missing for 5 weeks now. His mother, Susan, last heard from him when they were in Vienna together. He had planned to hike in one of the country's national parks and then stop in Croatia and Greece. Luskin has been working as a chemistry tutor in Hong Kong. Also new tonight, Madison police say they have arrested the man accused of breaking into several underground parking garages and stealing from cars. Officers arrested 31-year-old Carlo Walks today. Those burglaries happened on Park, Mifflin, Main, and Butler Streets. Police in Beloit are still searching for 20-year-old D'Angelo Thomas. He's suspected of shooting a 41-year-old man and a 15-year-old boy who remain in the hospital. Police say Thomas has connections in both Wisconsin and Illinois. There's new information about the deadly crash along I-90 yesterday in Juneau County involving 3 semi-trucks, 2 SUVs, and a motorcycle. Today, State Patrol says one of the semi-drivers, a 64-year-old from Linden Station, was killed, as well as the 60-year-old motorcyclist. One of the trucks blew up and caught fire. The owners of Stalzy's Deli are asking for the public's help in finding out who shot more than 60 rounds of BB pellets through their storefront and delivery truck windows. Take a look at the damage. It's unbelievable. This happened sometime between Tuesday evening and Wednesday morning. Right now, they don't have any witnesses, and the owners of the deli say they don't know who could have done this. There was no other damage to any other stores or residences around them, so they believe it was a targeted act. And let's get a look at the forecast now. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti in the Weather Center. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Charlotte. Pretty quiet out there right now. We had some sunshine this afternoon. The clouds have moved back in, but they're just low clouds, really not affecting temperatures too much. Right now, the low temperature this morning in Madison was 61 degrees. Temperature started out in the 50s north of town. High temperatures were generally in the middle to upper 70s. It was around 80 near the Illinois state line where the sun was shining a little bit more. To the north, temperatures stayed in the 60s where skies stayed cloudy, including Viroqua and Camp Douglas. And current temperatures are already in the 50s north of the Dells and generally low to mid 60s elsewhere through southern Wisconsin. Dew point temperatures are right around 60, even a little bit higher than that to the east of Madison. So as those temperatures drop, we'll probably see some areas of fog form. As we check out our forecast first, look for temperatures to drop into the mid to upper 50s by early tomorrow morning in some areas of fog. Skies will turn partly sunny tomorrow, and it should be very mild with high temperatures in the upper 70s. That's your first alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. What's next for the Oscar Mayer site? That's what Madison community members are helping decide at a meeting tonight. The 72-acre facility closed last year. Reich Brothers Holdings bought the plant, but the question remains how or if the site should be repurposed. For one resident who grew up on the north side, the hole the company left in the community and how it is to be replaced raises a lot of questions.
Just with such a big impact on the north side, it'd be nice to a number of things took over in that area. A little worried about the traffic again, if something big takes over, how well that'll be digested. Property values, I'd like to be able to afford to still live on the north side.
A committee from the city of Madison will take this input to develop a plan for the area starting in early 2019. The city of Madison has budgeted for construction on Buckeye and Cottage Grove roads, county highways that cross within city lines. Mayor Paul Soglin says the city is ready to fund the construction so long as Dane County provides their share and doesn't add any conditions like asking the city to pay for ongoing upkeep. If the county and city settle the dispute, construction will begin next year. Another busy day at the Alliant Energy Center. It is day 2 of the 2018 CrossFit Games, and today athletes were honored during a special ceremony. Some of the fittest men and women from around the world represented their countries in front of thousands of people. The CrossFit Games are expected to bring more than 70,000 people to the Madison area this year and add millions of dollars to the local economy. Donations continue to come in for the Sun Prairie community. The fire department from Cashton, which is near La Crosse, held a Fill the Boot drive and today donated more than $3,000 to the Sun Prairie Fire Department. A resident player in Madison's softball league threw her last pitch tonight. Amy Reed met with her earlier as she was warming up for her final game. Amy?
Yeah, Diane has been playing in Madison's league for about 10 years, but she's been playing softball a lot longer than that. Any sport takes dedication, and maybe no one knows dedication quite like Diane.
A lot of the people that helped us milk cows knew when it was ball night, we went into the barn, got our cows milked as quickly as we could be so Mom could be at ball.
Her mitt is worn in.
Yeah, it's been a good glove. Good glove.
50 years will do that.
It's got shoestrings on it.
She keeps the old newspaper clippings and the old pictures. They're good memories, which, after tonight, is all she'll have.
Oh, yeah, I was pretty excited and a little nervous and going to be a little hard to say goodbye, I think.
The hour it takes to get to Madison is starting to feel a little too long. So tonight will be her last. But the memories she'll cherish. After more than 50 years, she's made some friends.
They're the most wonderful girls. They're so supportive, and they're just little sweeties.
Tonight, her family watches as Diane plays her last game.
I'm having a problem thinking she's really going to be capable of quitting.
Warming up the loneliest position. Not so lonely at all.
To all my friends that I've made through all these years, thank you so much for supporting me and being my friends.
I just heard back from the team. They won, of course. They said either way, they're playing for fun, but still a great way to send off Diane.
Very reminiscent of the movie A League of Their Own.
Yes.
A great story, Amy. Thank you. Still to come tonight, we're taking an in-depth look at the state's sales tax holiday. Is it actually a money saver? And will businesses benefit? That story is next at 10. Wisconsin is right in the middle of its first sales tax holiday. That means you don't have to pay sales tax on clothing, computers, and school supplies under certain dollar amounts. But will you actually save money during these 5 days? Only on News 3, Rose Schmidt tells you what you need to know before you go shopping.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
A lot of people ready to go.
Or at least the busiest. If you work at Target.
So we definitely ramp up for the holidays, but we see much more sales in such a short amount of time in August than we do across our fourth quarter.
You heard that correctly. Back to school shopping brings more people to the Target store at Hilldale Mall than any other time of the year.
Come June, I was already practicing with my team on getting ready for the season and make sure we have a full stocked floor for our guests.
Fully stocked with every item on your child's back to school list.
We're right next to UW, so tons of college students coming in buying their supplies, but then also high school students, families buying school supplies.
Even some things you might not think of until you walk to the back of the store.
Like locker decorations, this is a super popular area.
And this year,
we definitely will have what we like to call a bigger wave of people, anywhere between 5 to 8 people back here.
Target is doubling its staff in this section, preparing for a holiday of a different kind. One free from sales tax. Well, pretty much everything in this area is considered to be tax exempt during the sales tax holiday. From colored pencils, to glue, to composition notebooks, laptops if they're under $750, to shirts, and don't forget your socks. But before you even head to local businesses, know which items are in and which aren't. The list of clothes included is considered to be not all-inclusive. So costumes, wedding apparel, and even rubber pants are all fair game as long as they're under $75.
It's really hard to determine how and why certain items get included or excluded. So that's always, to me, interesting when you look at kind of the underlying logic of some of these.
Professor Cliff Robb studies consumer financial behavior at UW-Madison.
There's been a number of states that have imposed these types of sales holidays, and so Wisconsin being new to it, it's probably a little bit of a learning curve that'll be involved.
A learning curve for both those selling the items and those hoping to save a few dollars.
A lot of the evidence I've seen does not really suggest that there's an increase in revenue for stores, and it doesn't necessarily suggest to me that there's a huge amount of savings on the part of consumers.
The reason being that the sales tax is only about 5% or maybe slightly higher depending on the city where you shop. Rob says some small businesses could even raise their prices during those 5 days to compensate.
Stores are recognizing that there's increased costs to them because they have to have more individual staff on hand or they have to deal with tax compliance issues.
So if it's possible neither businesses nor shoppers will save money, what is the point of a sales tax holiday?
Politically popular, I think. I think it sounds good. I know that businesses like it because it's a lot of hype and advertising and they don't have to do that much for it.
That may make sense. The state legislature and Governor Walker approved the sales tax holiday in an election year, which some Democratic leaders call a gimmick. That aside, Rob has some advice if you really do want to save money on pencils and paper.
If you go and do some of your shopping in September, mid-September maybe, I think you could probably find a lot more discounts that are more significant than maybe 5% off.
Of course, easier said than done when your child's school is making a list longer than Santa's.
Go ahead and pre-purchase some of those during the down times or the fire sale times when stores are trying to get rid of those items.
But if you haven't thought that far ahead and you're spending this week checking your list twice,
our sales volume is going to be very, very high.
It's likely you won't be alone. In Madison, Rose Schmidt, WISC News 3.
A few more things to note. This does apply to online purchases made during this time period. If you are charged tax and you think you shouldn't be, you should ask for a refund from the store. Now, if you have questions about what does and does not apply for the sales tax holiday, which goes through Sunday, we have those details on channel3000.com. And Chief Meteorologist Gary Canaldi is here with a look at your forecast.
The temperatures are going to be climbing over the next couple of days. By Saturday, we're looking for high temperatures right around 90 degrees, and you factor in the humidity, it's going to feel even hotter. So we have an alert day in the forecast for Saturday for those high temperatures right around 90 degrees in most areas, but when you factor in the humidity, it'll feel like between about 93 and 98 degrees. So take it easy on Saturday. Plan to try to stay in the shade as much as possible. And while we'll be around 79 for tomorrow, that bump up in temperatures occurs this weekend. 90 on Saturday and 86 on Sunday. Now Sunday there could be some thunderstorms late in the afternoon. If the storms arrive a little bit later, it's possible we could be a few degrees warmer than that 86 predicted high. But after that, temperatures should be right around the lower 80s through much of next week. And the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center from August 10th through the 16th, calling for above normal temperatures from Wisconsin westward and through the northeastern portion of the country. A little area below normal temperatures expected right over Kentucky and Tennessee, where a little more active storm track will be, and that's where the precipitation chances will be higher than normal, at least through the Ohio Valley and then back down in the southwestern part of the country, while much of the northern part of the country will stay away from the main storm track, and precipitation is expected to be below normal. As we look at the time lapse from the WISC Skycam, low clouds this morning started to break apart this afternoon. That's why our temperatures made it up into the mid-70s instead of being in the low 70s like we were predicting earlier. But you can see how those clouds quickly filled right back in as we got towards sunset, and we'll probably see mostly cloudy skies for tonight before those clouds break up again tomorrow. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison. Not seeing any fog around here. There could be some patchy fog overnight. Low temperature this morning, 61 degrees, right at the normal, but the high temperature of 75, a few degrees below the average high of 81. We're at 64 now. Skies are partly cloudy. Winds are out of the north at 7 miles per hour. Humidity starting to creep up to 87%. As those temperatures drop closer to the dew point, we'll start to see some areas of fog form. Temperatures are already in the 50s through much of northern and central Wisconsin, still in the 60s through southern and eastern Wisconsin. Milwaukee's still at 70. But at least the thicker clouds have moved out. The showers and thunderstorms from yesterday moved into Michigan and Indiana. More showers and storms along the eastern seaboard. They don't need any more rain there in much of this area under flash flood watches. There are red flag advisories for high fire danger from Montana into the western Dakotas, with the threat for rain staying south of there, and those temperatures really warming up. In fact, there's a warm front out to the west. It's actually the back end of that cold front that came through yesterday. And you can see on the other side of that warm front, triple-digit heat over parts of Montana and temperatures in the 90s over the western high plains. Current temperatures are in the 50s and 60s over Wisconsin, but still in the 70s and 80s to our south and west. Dew point temperatures around 60 here, but notice those dew points creeping back up into the upper 60s to around 70, so it will become more humid with time. Our forecast for tonight calls for partly cloudy or mostly cloudy skies and cooler conditions, some patchy fog, low dropping to 54. For tomorrow, a partly sunny and very mild day with a high temperature of 79. On future track, you can see those clouds kind of filling in overnight with some patchy fog, lows dropping into the middle 50s. For tomorrow, we'll turn partly sunny with high temperatures in the upper 70s. I don't think we'll see any rain during the day tomorrow. For tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies, southerly winds pushing temperatures up into the middle 60s. And on Saturday, we're going to be up around 90 degrees with partly sunny skies and warm south to southwesterly winds. As we take a look at the 7 to 10-day forecast, you'll see those temperatures still in the mid-80s for Sunday, but after some showers and thunderstorms Sunday night into Monday, we'll drop back into the lower 80s for much of next week. Still a chance of a thunderstorm Tuesday and Thursday, a slight chance on Wednesday. After that, looks like a period of dry weather as we head into the following weekend with high temperatures right around 80. That'll feel pretty nice.
That'll be great. Thank you, Gary.
You're welcome.
Up next, Kevin explains why Packers legend Jerry Kramer won't be looking at his watch this weekend.
One of the quiet moves the Brewers made this offseason was adding right-hander Yuli Chassin. It's paying off. The right-hander is 10-3 this season, and the Crews looking to take 3 of 4. With the stars coming out, Pat Sajak and one of the Flying Kardashians. I think that's Courtney watching the game tonight. It is? Okay. 1-1. Manny Machado singles to center. Easy enough. Lorenzo Cain gets the ball back in. Orlando Arcia is doing it wrong. Kicks away. Jock Peterson really never stopped. He scores and makes it 2-1. Same inning. Bases loaded for Cody Bellinger. They are now unloaded by Cody Bellinger. That's a grand slam. Dodgers have broken it open. It's 10-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Jerry Kramer's had to wait 44 years to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. At 82 years young, the former Packers offensive lineman admitted he was emotional and a little bitter after he didn't get in. Widely regarded as the best player not to be in, he's finally in. Not many people stopped him when he blocked his way to 3 NFL titles and 2 Super Bowls. And good luck trying to stop him when he gives his speech on Saturday.
I'll tell you that they told us we could have 10 minutes. And then we leaned on them and they said 15. And I'm down to 20. It's probably the best that ever happened. And it's the kind of the pinnacle. It's the peak. It's getting to the point where you're beginning to wonder if you're going to get to see it.
The NFL trying to figure out what a catch is, what a tackle is, and what a penalty is, saying today that the hit that ended Aaron Rodgers' season last year would be a penalty this year. There's a tutorial video making its way to every team in the league. My brother in the beard, Mike McCarthy's busy implementing the new info into how his coaching staff coaches.
This game isn't played in slow motion. It's not played on a replay. So when you're dealing with things at full speed, because you don't want to slow these great athletes down. The goal, as we all know, is player safety, and that's the forefront of all these decisions, and definitely rightfully so.
It'll be tough for running back Jonathan Taylor to improve on his freshman season, pushing the depth chart aside, racking up 1,977 yards and 13 touchdowns. Taylor didn't have any problems handling early success, and he plans to use last year as a building block for his sophomore campaign.
You look at what got you to where you were last year, and then you just try to recreate that formula, but raise the bar a little bit higher because, what you did last year got to you where you were. But if you want to take that next step, then, you have to find a way to get better in this area, get better in that area to raise the bar to get where you need to go.
It's August 2nd. Why do we have a coaches poll? No one has answered me that question ever. The reigning champs, heavy favorites, Alabama, 61 first-place votes today before the season even starts. Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia, and Boomer Sooner round out the top 5. The Badgers check in at 7, not pictured. Michigan State at 12 and Michigan at 14. Tournament of Nations finale in Chicago. USA versus Brazil. 1-0 Brazil. Former Badger star Rose Lavelle, middle of the penalty box. One time. Go! Somebody hug me right now. Thank you. USA wins 4-1. She missed a lot of time with injury, so good for her. They win the tournament title. Move Knots. Gary Canalti back in 3 minutes.
Gary's here with the final check.
Temperatures right now pretty comfortable, mainly in the middle 60s, but we'll start to see some fog form before too long. Tomorrow's high temperature close to 80, but an alert day for Saturday with a high of 90 and the heat index 93 to 98. Some thunderstorms late Sunday into Monday. Temperatures will cool back down to the lower 80s for much next week.
All right, thank you, Gary. And thank you for joining us. Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.